What's going on, guys? My name is Robert. This is the Tool Channel and Electrical Knowledge Channel, Tools and Tactics. If you guys are new here, what's up for you all you guys that tune in every Tuesday and Thursday? Welcome back. We're going to talk about something a little bit different. Uh, Something I don't think I've really talked about with having the proper mindset of what it takes to become an electrician or work in the fields, what to expect. We've talked a lot about tools and we talked a little bit about mindset and what to expect, but we really haven't painted the full picture of what it takes to actually stick with it, whether it's your financial goals, whether it's working in the field in the terrible climate and situations, whether it's confrontations with somebody. There's a bunch of aspects in your life that you can apply this same kind of practice, something that I do personally that can help you guys out. And the secret is that willpower is not enough. You can't just say, I've got the willpower, my willpower is strong enough to do X, Y, and Z. Your subconscious is always going to be fighting you on what you want to achieve. What's up, Jonathan? What's going on? We got the whiteboard here, so we'll probably take some notes, mark some things down. But once more people get in here, I'll tell you guys some news about probably the direction we're going to go here pretty soon. I think we're going to get like a prepaid cell phone that you guys call in. I think post a number back here. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I want to talk about willpower and what it takes to achieve your goals, and it goes right hand in hand with newer apprentice electricians. Goes hand in hand with owning a house. Yeah, burner phone. Yeah. So we're probably gonna call it "Why Did It Burn Thursdays?" Have a picture or something, and then we'll be like, why did the electrical catch fire? Something that you guys call in, talk about what you guys did in the field, what your problems are. Did you have any confrontations? And others can kind of give their input and just have like a community to help each other out on certain situations. Hey man, love the content. Any plans for any videos on running conduit or other tricks of the trade you've picked up over the years? Yeah, I've got a video planned for some conduit. We've done a couple of conduit things. That was my favorite thing to do, man, was running conduit. Being an electrical inspector, that's the thing I miss the most is running conduit. I'd run that 881 table bender where you're bending the 4-inch pipe. I actually ran the large table bender more than I ran the sidewinder. That's how often I'd run large pipe. Chiefs for Eagles. Who you got? Man, I don't know. I don't know. I think the Chiefs probably got it. They had it last year. I have news. Call OSHA shut down the job site. Wow. OSHA shut down the job site. That's never good, man. So when you're trying to build your mindset on what you're gonna do, right? You got to wake up at 6. We've got to get to the job by 6, right? So alarm's going off at 5. If you got ADHD like me, you're probably setting 6 alarms all the way until 5 o'clock when you got to wake up. But there's that certain point where you've slept in too late and you got to get up right that second. The willpower is almost more of a necessity. Like, hey, I've got to get up now. One thing that I've been doing is anything that I really need to just pull the trigger on immediately. I've been kind of counting down in my head 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just doing it with whatever it is. It's that subconscious that you're constantly fighting. you know is the wrong thing. You're playing video games. Can you block me? 24 hours. Beg you to. Yeah, can someone block him for 24 hours? That'd be cool. Got a bunch of mods in here. I don't see why not. Actually, let me see. Someone else can block him. Appreciate it. So, appreciate the mods too. One of the biggest things with scaffolding violations, man, that's a big one. That's there's so many things to scaffolds, man. So many things. I don't even know how many. You figure every Friday there's a safety meeting, and then probably at least 10 random safety meetings throughout the year. I can't do a backflip. And then you got to figure, just the yearly training and stuff for 10 years in the same company. I've got more than probably 700 safety meetings of knowledge, of all the OSHA stuff, not including the OSHA 30 that I did and all that other stuff, and not including the hours of orientations for different jobs. Call online's a great idea. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a burner phone number up here so you guys can call in, talk about your day, and you can star 67 it. I would encourage you guys to star 67 it. I don't want to be somebody that's trying to get somebody's phone number or anything like that. What's up, Juan? So the biggest thing, man, moving forward for 2025, new year, new you. You want to do something with your life. When can you call? I got to go buy it. I got to go buy the burner. So we got to buy the burner cell phone, and then we got to add the minutes to it. I've never done that. I've always had a, cell phone plan. So it'll be a learning curve for sure. But, yeah, I might just get a regular track phone and then just pay the monthly. I don't know. With a burner, I'm not worried about someone gets the number. What's going on, Alvin? It sucks, but you have been 80 feet in the air on the scaffold platform. Man, that's high scaffold, dude. I think I've only ever been about 30 to 40 feet on scaffold. 80 is pretty tall. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a prepaid cell phone. You guys can call in, talk about your day and all your confrontations and all that stuff. Ask about different questions on the job. Ask direct code questions. All kinds of stuff. You can even already have sent pictures to my email, and we can bring them up and we can all look at them and talk about the pictures. Picking us really gay vibes? Right on, buddy. I would suggest you don't pick those up, man. You're better off just leaving those alone. Best not to explore them. But you do you. I would say, one of the biggest things that helps is getting your subconscious to not battle you. And the only way that you can get your subconscious to not disagree with what you want to do, because your subconscious is ultimately your identity. So if we were to look at what my identity is as a person, we could say TNT, right? TNT. We'll do tools and tactics in case anyone's confused. So we got tools and tactics here, and down below we're going to put some core values here. You can do this for yourself. So I would say one of my core values would be my integrity. Almost first, as an electrical inspector, as a person, the best screwdriver brand, honestly, when it comes down to it, the best actual screwdriver is probably Klein. If we look at some here, this is the perfect example. of one of the most perfect screwdrivers. You can get this in a 2-pack, less than 20 bucks. This screwdriver will last your lifetime and your son's lifetime. The grips don't fail. It's a very simple screwdriver. There's no bells and whistles to it. The grip is better than 98% of the screwdrivers out there. If you're looking for guaranteed satisfaction, this is not a bad screwdriver. Can you get better? Yes. Consistency wise, these are the best screwdrivers that I think I've ever ran across. I've got no issues with a Klein screwdriver. The number 2 or any of the Kleins like this, they are almost perfect. There's better out there, but man, you got to search high and low to find one that's better than this. You can pick these up at Home Depot right now. They're always available. You can beat on the back. They work for good, really good beating screwdrivers. Tips last forever. Electricians drop out because they don't have the mindset they should have. And your mindset, we're just going to call this my identity. Okay, we're gonna have identity. These are like our core values. Handwriting's bad, but that's what you get when you're in the trade and not going to college. So we got our core values, and we're talking about the identity, and then you got your subconscious. Get your subconscious, right? And your subconscious. We're just going to put sub right there. And your subconscious is lazy, plays games, avoids chores. We'll put video there. Plays video games, avoids chores, procrastinates. What else? Either you like confrontation or you don't like confrontation. What kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person that likes to argue? Or are you the kind of person that is willing to learn and be mindful and accepting on what somebody has to say? So that'll be my identity here. Always willing to learn. There. But you could have over here in your sub confrontation. All right, the question is, do you seek to understand or do you seek to be heard? Because if you're always willing to help is another one. That is a good one. I was trying to go with like the top 5 for me. All this boils down to time, though. So you look at your values, and a lot of this stuff is going to cost you time. If you're a helpful person, you're losing out on personal time. If you're willing to learn, you're bettering yourself. You've got self building up here. Your integrity is like what I would call more of a core value of like your identity of what you are. Being helpful, you could look at that as getting return on something almost like a karma, or one hand washes another. In the trades, if you need to borrow something from a trade, maybe they need to borrow something from you. So especially in construction, one hand always washes another. You're better off working together. Yeah, more work ethics. Are you lazy? What is it? You got to figure out. Just write this down as a person. Some people do believe in karma, so we're not what's the word, discriminating here, Juan. We're just putting it all on the table, right? Number 5, only by Makita. Yeah. So we could be talking about karma, but we're more talking about one hand washing another, meaning I might accidentally run my scissor lift into the wall and the sheetrocker is going to be pissed at me. What's up, Vegan Cookies? Really appreciate that, man. Thanks for the super chat. So you're planning on, he's going to need something from you. Maybe he needs some temporary light in a different area. And you never had to run temporary. Your job only said, I need to run it down the main hallways, and the other trades got to do X, Y, and Z. Or they're just going to need something, right? So you're trading work basically on the job site with other trades. Not necessarily Karma. F the rockers. Yeah. Electrical inspector, electrician here. So you want to write down what's your core values, right? I think one of my core values would be my integrity. I want to be trustful at all times. I don't want to ever break that. So for me, if you can't be trusted, then there's no value to you as a person at all. You're completely useless for me. If I can't trust you, that's as far as that goes. There's no point in even pursuing anything else. I don't trust you. We're done. For me, I'm always willing to learn, which also means that I'm always willing to listen to other perspectives and not just force my own, especially when out in the field and explaining the code book, things like that. And then, man, there's so much to know in this trade. You really can't get an ego about things because, man, humble pie is... shout out if you guys know... Do you guys know what the flavor of humble pie is? Does anybody know exactly what flavor that is? I think humble pie is like a... I don't know, man. It's almost like a licorice. Like it shouldn't belong in the pie. But it's still sweet because you get to learn something. Some people, humble pie just tastes like dog shit. And they're like, man, I hate that. What does your humble pie taste like? Because mine's definitely not the best flavor, but it's palatable. Makita pie. So yeah, all this goes hand in hand with putting up with BS on the job site, by the way. So if your subconscious here is lazy, but you want to be helpful, you can see where ultimately laziness is going to win. Doesn't matter what the willpower says. The willpower is that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 jump, right? And you're going to do it no matter what. When you really lock your cores down as a person, you always have something to tangibly reflect back on, even though it's in your head and you can't grab it. At least you've got a spot that you have put in your head. This is what my values are, right? If I did another one, I would say, why am I putting a 5? 4 or 5. I would probably put helpful down below. Like I like to be helpful, but it's definitely integrity, always willing to learn. I don't accept everyone else's reality. So one of my things would be like doing my own research. I always do my own research, no matter what somebody tells me. Knipex linemen suck. Everything else is good. I might get myself some Knipex linemen. What's up, read a book. Trying to keep up with the chat here. I love when someone takes a bite of something and says, man, this tastes like crap. You want it? No, you just told me it tastes like crap. Well, in the past together makes you believe it. That's awesome. Are you valuable to yourself? Yeah. Do you value yourself? Do you see yourself as valuable in a conversation? Or are you subconsciously, what's the word? Not anxious, but are you doubtful? You could be doubtful. And for a lot of apprentices, you're going to be doubting. Hopefully, you're not confrontational because you're not going to be able to learn, right? So these kind of go hand in hand. Your confrontation, you're not going to want to learn. You pretty much just got to do kind of whatever is being asked of you, unfortunately, until you're able to do your own research and figure it out for yourself. But in a certain situation, it doesn't matter how much research you do, you're still going to have to do what you're told. So confrontation isn't going to get you anywhere as an apprentice. So a lot of these things, that voice, whenever you're sitting there playing video games in your head and you're like, man, I should be doing the dishes, or I should be doing this, or I should be doing that. The second that happens to me, it's like a switch. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm jumping. I'm gonna go do it, and that's one of the reasons why I stay making YouTube videos. Uh, it definitely takes a lot of my time, but anytime that I'm not making a YouTube video or doing something on YouTube, it it really bothers me. So I'm always actively trying to do something on here for you guys, just to keep it moving. Even when YouTube's up, even when YouTube's down, I'm always constantly thinking, what can I do? So one of my things is that I probably subconsciously too much YouTube and not enough family. But I've been trying to build this, and I've invested a lot of money in YouTube. So the J2078CRs are right here. J278CR. J2158CR. What's the sevens? Yeah, man. YouTube and shorts are, and you know what? Man, some of the shorts they're not even high value lately. If I've been scrolling through my shorts and it's not high value, if it's not self help, motivation, so some of the motivation stuff just goes too far. Um, I have a separate account for play, so I've got my personal account and then I got this YouTube account. I don't keep any of the play stuff on this account. If I'm scrolling through, because usually I'm already signed into YouTube so I can check all my stats as I'm going. Let's look at those, by the way. Now I'm thinking about it. Let's see how we're doing. We've got 533,200 views in the last 2 days, and that's because of you guys. So shout out to you guys, man. This last short made $80. Appreciate it. And that video is, I'm gonna load it for you. January 28th is when we posted that video. So in 2 days, that video's got 411,000 views, thanks to you guys. And that money I put back into YouTube. I have yet to pay myself with YouTube money yet. We just keep buying stuff. It's keeping everything going, and you guys are awesome. So appreciate it. I do want to verify what pliers that guy was talking about. These are the J2158CRs. I think he had a 7 in there. The needle nose. Is that the ones with the yellow handle? I'll have to look those up. I'm going to look those up later. Appreciate it, Tar Heels. YouTube shorts. Dude, they started YouTube pants, man. It's the 3-minute shorts. I'm so mad about that. I wasn't sure if I was going to participate in it or not either, because the 3-minute shorts, you're just scrolling, and that's why I stopped doing Instagram. I had to stop doing Instagram. I couldn't do it because every time I got on Instagram, I was watching videos and they were good, but they were longer than a minute. And dude, it's freaking 10 minutes. You just watch 3 videos, 10 minutes gone. I'm not a huge fan of brain rot and just doom scrolling forever. So I try to keep my shorts pretty short and sweet. What I've realized is that I do need to kind of paint you guys a picture before I just give you the information, because for the most part, people aren't going to stick around and watch unless they really know the context. And then you guys don't seem to mind it. So I have slowed down a little bit of my videos. If you notice from whenever I first started, I used to just dump all the information. I was like, let's get this out of the way, get you guys as much information as possible. And it was good. I mean, we got, 44,000 subs almost now, which is crazy. But what I found out is that I needed to take my time just a little bit more, give you guys a little bit more information. I've been doing that, and the videos have been pushing out more. They've been getting longer views, and ultimately I've been making more money. So it's a win, what seems like, for everybody. Oh, you test on the 5th. Heck yeah, dude. You got my number, man. We could be live YouTubing right now. And going over code questions. You should text me. Been a while since you've been in. Yeah. What's going on, man? Let's see here. How's the roof patch holding up, bro? It ain't. It's raining in the house right now. I'll give you guys an update later in a second, maybe. I had to cut the sheetrock back out. The roof is so flat. The roof is so flat that there's just nothing you can do about it. I would have to flash. I would have to flash like 4 feet all the way from the shingles. Because if you guys don't know, what they did was they added a room to the house. And this is the shingles here. And they put corrugated metal just underneath the shingles, just like that. Except that it's flat like this. And dude, water's always going to win. There's no amount of tar that I can put to stop it from dripping. It's a slow drip. I finally went up there in the middle, I don't know, it was like 10 o'clock at night, pissing down rain. And I went down there and I put another flashing over that. And I got it to stop raining in the house. So it just flashing is the only option. I'm gonna have to regrade that whole roof and just change the pitch and do something else. But it could be better. I repaired the sheetrock too, and I had to cut a hole in it last night with the recip. So it is what it is, man. Flash it, yeah. I'm gonna have to flash it. Roofs can be really tricky. I know exactly where it's coming from because Joshua gave me a bore scope. So I used Joshua's bore scope, and I can see, because you're looking underneath and you can see the corrugates, and the corrugate is like, in this shape, like this, like this, and water's just pooling out underneath the, the lower of the corrugate, and it's just pouring in that one corrugate slot. So I took the bore scope, pushed it up in there, and I could see where the water was coming from. And then I took a piece of Romex and I shoved it in that corrugated slot. Then I went on the roof, pulled the Romex out, tarred it even more, and I put another flashing over that. And then I got it to stop raining in the house. So I know exactly where the leak is. It's not the roof. It's where the idiot stuck corrugate underneath shingles and then made the roof flat. If the roof was not flat, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But yeah, roof is flat, so not too much I can do. Let's see here. Bore scope for the win. Yeah. Yo, what's up, one? All right, so what are we gonna do? This is our identity here, right? We've got we've got our integrity, we've got the willingness to learn. I do my own research on just about everything. So you want to do your own research. It's important to do your own research because that's when you learn the most, actually. There's a lot of context that you're missing out on that people won't tell you without doing the research, especially in the code book. Being helpful, and four would be I'm always looking for disaster. So I would say planning, always planning. I would say that always planning is going to hit the top of this list because I'm always looking for what can get me. I've always got escape routes. We put a window in the front of the house that I couldn't afford. Did like a $42 a month loan for a year to pay for it. Maybe it's 2 years. It was like $2,000 for two windows, right? Expensive. But the window in the front of the house will always help the house sell. So ultimately, if I ever have to, I've got the money and means to do it now. You should always be able to get out of any situation that you're in, especially a house, that's very expensive with a mortgage that's $3,300 a month. You need to be able to sell that house. While you've got the means to do it, you should upgrade it to where the house is sellable at all times. You always want to be maintaining your investment. So planning is going to go up there. The integrity is probably underneath that. And then over here in your subconscious, you want to play games. You don't want to do things around the house. You're going to procrastinate if you are going to do it. To the procrastination to fix this, just go 3, 2, 1, and then say jump. And then just go do it. Just count in your head. 3, 2, 1, go do it. And the truth is, if you do a bunch of things, like even for a minute, or if you just set aside a plan, like, okay, walk in the house, take my shoes off, I'm looking around, we've got dishes in the dishwasher, we've got cups in the sink, we've got, everything's kind of everywhere. What am I going to do first? I'm not going to do all that at the same time. I'm going to go do something that I want to do for a couple of minutes, whatever, settle, come back out for maybe 2 minutes. And in 2 minutes, I'm going to clean whatever I can as fast as I can. And then I'm going to go do something for a little bit. And then I'm going to set aside another block of 5 minutes to do the dishwasher or whatever. And then you do it all. It makes it no fun, man. You got to break up the monotony of having to do chores and stuff like that. So just getting your mind and your subconscious to get used to my identity is not to be lazy. I've got a game plan. So when you think to yourself, I should be doing something, your subconscious is like, yeah, but I'd rather sit here. Your identity says, no, this is who we are. This is what we're going to do. We've already laid out a game plan on how we're going to get it done. 3, 2, 1, jump. That's how I kind of keep myself going. And then when shit goes sideways, because shit always goes sideways in this freaking house, whether it's the mold or the roof or whatever it is, dude, always got a game plan for the next thing. So constantly planning on what we're going to do next to help the situation get better. I just put $2,200 on a credit card or on my Mustang. My Mustang's paid off. I had $4K in my bank account this morning. I put $2,200 right into the Mustang. Why? Because the Mustang was $300 a month. I got a personal loan to pay off that Mustang that much faster. Personal loan cost me $150. The remainder of the Mustang was cheaper than the personal loan, the total. So, yeah, I'm playing with debt, but I was paying $350 anyway on the Mustang. So that loan, you're just going to throw extra money towards. You always got to have a game plan. Not only that, but the way about, with, I don't want to get political or whatever, but it's always good to have a little bit of extra money around that time of year, just in case. So Money sitting never hurt anybody. If you take a loan, a personal loan for 10 grand and you're able for it, and it's costing you, let's just say it's costing you $50 a month just to sit on that money. That's cash though. And when you need the money, sometimes by the time you realize you need the money, you've already spent money you don't have, or you're not in a position to where you can get another loan or something like that. So just being ready for whatever can come is worth something. If you think in a couple of years you're going to need a couch, you're going to need a new water heater, you're going to need this and that, and there's no way you can float it, there's no sense in getting 3 different loans to fix those 3 things. You get one loan, sit on the money, invest it, whatever, put in a savings account so the interest isn't killing you, and you're prepared for the next thing, In your bank account, when you have your savings and your checking and everything's labeled, don't leave them as just a generic name. Label them as a goal, right? If you open up your bank account and you're like, I'm just going to move money from this account to this account, if that account says savings for YouTube so we can buy the newest Milwaukee set, right? I'm going to look at that and say, if I move that money, I'm not going to be able to do the Milwaukee set. But if it just says savings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the name of it, you're probably more likely to move that money. Best thing to do is open a brokerage account and put money in every month and buy. Boo, I got 100K in brokerage now. Nice, nice. Being roast is part of being here. I'm the first one to participate. Let's see here. Some people are just disrespectful and mean for no reason. Let's see here. Trying to catch up with the chat, guys. Rather earn minimum wage than work for somebody else. That's not a bad philosophy. Client Connect tools look so cool. You can hand the bits boxes on it. Pack house drawers are good though. The Client Connect stuff, man, has so many different options for it. It's almost overwhelming. And then they're starting to overlap with their different sets. And I'm really just waiting for them to stop so I can decide which one do I want to buy. Because I'm not going to buy with this set for 100 and then you're going to come up with a set for 80 that includes a part that I really wanted from this one, but I didn't really need that other junk for 100. They just did it with their screwdriver and added one more feature to it. And I'm glad I waited. I'm just going to kind of wait for Klein to see what they're going to do and wait for their handles to get better. I went to a job today. The electrician tightened the neutral for the 2-aught in the main disconnect so tight that when I got there, the lug was like sitting at an angle. And the dude denied it too. I'm literally moving the wire and the lug is actually shifting on the bar. And he's like, I don't see anything. I was like, okay, I guess I'll wiggle it harder for you. So I'm just like, da, 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 da. And the whole lug's just like moving at that point. He's like, okay, I'll tighten it. So I was like, go get your Allens. Because those lugs have a screw behind the main lug. So you unscrew the lug completely, and then you got to screw the screws into that bus to bolt that large lug to the smaller bus. It's kind of like this is the bus, and then the lug sits here. And then you've got a large lug here, and behind this large lug, you've got a smaller screw, and all of that screws together. So he's like, he opens it up and says, oh man, it's a square. Do you have a square? Because he didn't have a square. Whatever. I go get my square, but it's my horrible Klein 13-in-1 that I love so much, but the handle keeps falling off. And I hand it to him. I was like, be careful, man. This handle spins in your hand more than the screwdriver spins itself. And he starts spinning on it, and he's tightening it, but the whole handle is just slipping. He's not even like actually tightening the screw. And I was like, man, you got to grab it tighter. It's like, man, the Klein stuff's just a train wreck right now. These screwdrivers aren't a train wreck, but a lot of the newer Klein stuff's just like, what are they doing? After you get vested in a whole life insurance plan, You can take a loan on the policy and charge yourself whatever interest you want. The money borrowed still works for you while you pay it off. That's also very true, George Orwell. That's a good way to do it. Right now, I am focusing on aggressively paying off all my debt. So I'm probably going to throw another 800 on another card. And then what do I got? I probably got 2,000 on one more card. And then I'm done. So it'd be nice to start stacking some money. I'll probably pay off this card and then stack some money. But it's definitely good to be in positions with your credit score where you've got options, because I've been in every situation, I think, with my third house now. And it's good to have options. You know what I'm saying? We'll see you later, Shrush. You don't see 20 likes? We got 18 likes. Give us a pause for likes. Hit the thumbs up. Stacking bills with my fat YouTube earnings. Only just recently, man. We took home 1,200 last month, which was pretty cool. That's a first. So yeah, we definitely want to keep that going. 191. I don't know. I saw 20. Thanks. Here's a funny one. So yeah, basically as an apprentice, right? As an apprentice, all this stuff is going to play a role on whether you're willing to learn. I've helped so many people. I've given away so many tools in my career to friends, family that wanted to start being an electrician, things like that. I am trying to think how many people that I've helped versus how many people actually stuck with it. I probably had like 3 successful people actually stick with it versus giving away probably full sets of tools to 10 different people. You got to get your mindset ready for what you're going to be doing as an apprentice or whatever trade you're in. You're in the climate where either it's hot outside or it's cold outside. You're going to be asked to do stuff that you probably feel like you shouldn't have to do. For example, like sweeping, cleaning up, things like that. You could be 30 and say, why is this guy telling me to sweep? I'm 30 years old. I don't need to be sweeping. Why am I having to organize all this material? Can't someone else organize the material? There's so many different things. And it was like that with one of my best friends, his wife's brother felt, I guess, entitled to not have to do anything like that. And that's his choice, man. If that's what you want to go, but don't jump into a trade thinking that that's not going to happen. You're going to have to do the bottom of the barrel stuff and work your way up as you go. Tools play a huge role in that. If you've got tools that show you might know what you're doing, not tools like this, but even a tool like this where it's a wrench, just something that's not so common. Probably says you know how to run conduit. You got a conduit reamer, you can run conduit. You got a level that's actually going to stick to conduit and not just fall off as soon as you slap it on something metal and someone wiggles it. It's showing initiative for the task that you want to be doing. So if you set yourself up where it looks like you kind of know what you're doing, the other person's subconscious is kind of thinking, man, I wonder what else this guy can do. He's got the tools to run all this stuff. He's already taken the investment to show that he cares about the trade enough to start buying some tools that, are going to actually last. There's a lot of things that go a long way with being an apprentice and not dropping out. Is the Mega Pro screwdriver the best VDE multi-bit driver you have tried? I'm gonna say yes. I'll go get it. I'll go get it, and I'll tell you why. Because I've had all the Weehas before. And I don't like knocking Weehaw about it, but Weehaw's got a driver that's really nice, and it's got two little buttons here on the side. And when you push those two buttons, this thing automatically pops up. And it's pretty cool. And then you can take the bits and you just pop them in your Weehaw and you're good to go. The handle is an acceptable shape and size and all that stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you drop that screwdriver, these things break right here. And I can't recommend a screwdriver that the best feature about it is just gonna break. So for durability, Mega Pro has been making these for Dottie. Mega Pro has been in supply houses since I was an apprentice. Nice, get fragile. Nice yet fragile, yeah. Yeah, so the Weehaw stuff, the one that you push here is, I can't recommend it, and I don't own it for that reason. I don't want anyone seeing it on the channel. I like it personally. The other Weehaw one, you got to unscrew. So it's actually got threads here. And then you can pop this out, and then you can, that's way too slow, man. This is like the sweet spot to where we can just switch bits out that quickly if we need to and be done. But the best screwdriver, which was right here, where'd he go? The best screwdriver is this one here. This has got to be the best screwdriver. It's not really multi-bit. It's kind of multi-bit because it's, you know, double-sided. But this here, the shape, the size, the weight, the grip, the reliability on the tips, the ease of switch, the retention, the visibility to be able to find it that much easier, to find your bits, you're not going to lose your bits. Everything about this screwdriver is unmatched. So this is probably, as a homeowner, this is the only screwdriver you'll ever need. You buy this set and you're done. Even as a pro. Really all you need right here, these tools right here. If you had this and a tester, maybe a pair of channel locks, might be all you need to get 90% of most small jobs done. This is Klein. The handle's not a piece of crap on this one. But this is a nice screwdriver. I do like it. I like how long it is. I like how easy it is to pull the bits out, and there's just something special about it. I like this about it the most, probably. This is the coolest part about it, man. And I don't know if you guys saw that video where I was actually, you know, this thing applies so much torque, it's ridiculous how much torque actually gets transferred to the tip on this screwdriver. I've never seen anything like it. And then don't forget that this part here spins in your hand. So this is acting like a control screwdriver up here because it's spinning freely. And then when you couple this right here, because this is spinning freely and this is spinning freely because that spins there. And then this up here spins too. Man, it's it's a great screwdriver. That's a nice design. Everything about it is, you know, nice. So this is probably my new favorite, but it's $90. There's the there it is there. But it's nice. Is it long enough to get in the panel? Yeah. Yeah, all these are long enough to get in the panel. And then this is long enough to do just about anything. You have a few Mega Pros, but not the VDE. Good to be seeing it reviewed by the Go to Van Tools. I appreciate it, man. You guys coming to work today to apply. He says he wants to challenge. Ask the owner for a way more than he's worth. Owner tells him you want to challenge. Work for half of what you're asking. Not hired. Is that what happened to you, Josh? Is that what you did? I know a guy who became a licensed electrician and then he worked out of a hardware store. Man, a lot of people do that. A lot of people will go into the supply houses. That's pretty cool, Safari. No, I'm not an auto mechanic. I'm an electrical inspector and an electrician. What's up, Brian? Bringing you the real reviews. What's up, Thomas? So, yeah, this is what you got to learn, and it's going to apply to all your jobs. It's going to apply to how you run your house. If you have a house, if you got responsibilities having a house. A lot of this stuff is self-learned just from owning homes, because there's a lot of things that you got to do yourself. If you're, let's see, how old was I? I was 21. I was 21 when I got my first house. And I got it for $70K. So everything was broken in it. And I think I worked in that house to the day I sold it. And then I bought another house that was worth about 400. I bought it for 180. And I also worked in that house until the day I sold it. And it almost killed me. But I was able to pull $200,000 of equity out of it. As with the other one. So a lot of this stuff, man, all this stuff is a luxury. Being lazy is a luxury. I don't sit around the couch, man. I don't even. Every once in a while, I'll chill with the family, and it's weird. It's weird. So I've been doing that lately, trying to, right here, too much YouTube, not enough family. I've been making room for that lately. It's been pretty cool. But there's a lot of stuff here that you got to figure out what's your identity as a person. That way, if you know internally what your values are, you can always refer to what your subconscious wants to do and act on the game plan. Do electricians make walls? Of trash for other people to clean up, maybe. What's up, Andrew? Electrical Apprentice down in Florida. Nice, nice. What are you guys doing? You guys doing commercial or residential, or what are you guys doing, Andrew? Got the Vito 2025 tool bag catalog in the mailbox, and then I called Chase to warn them. Oh man, I kind of want to buy the MPX3. I kind of want to buy it, but I don't. I was looking at the MPMX, and I think it's got some issues. Let me show you what I rock. This is what I rock. I rock this DeWalt. Probably had some. I got a video planned for this pretty soon. Let me put this stuff back where it goes. Missing my clients here. I think they're out there because we did a video with them. I should probably go get them. Yeah, I probably should go get them. It'd be a weird review without clients. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab them real quick. Here's my diagonals. I've got the clients in here. So, there we go. This is a DeWalt kind of construction carpenter's bag here. But what's cool about it is that you've got extra pockets, and then my V2, so you got one spot here for screwdrivers on this side. You got another spot here for a 10-in-1. And then channel locks sit in there. And it makes a really nice pocket stuffer. So I think these Vitos almost as a pocket stuffer because they're pretty heavy if you load them up all the way. We're going to get this out of here. Hang on. There. And you got your Vito MP2X here. Now the MPMX is cool and all, but you lose out on your screwdriver space on the MPMX. So if you really want an MPMX, just cut your freaking screwdriver slots out. And truth be told, you probably got more room than the MPMX. You could probably cut the screwdriver slots out of your MP2X and it'd be the same freaking pouch. So you could buy yourself a new MP2X and then cut your MP2X that's old, and then you'd have a trained MP2X with a meter slot, I think, is probably what I would do. Put our clients there. Got the strippers there. And then the tape measure sits right there as well. And then right here you can see all these very easily. Just switch these out. And if you want to switch a bit out, you can do it one-handed. Stab one in, grab another one, slide it down there. And so you can switch them all out one-handed, which is kind of cool. You can even leave them alone one-handed. Pop this one up, even on the back side. You can still grab them pretty easily. So that's my current setup. I've got this because I've been doing a lot of receptacles lately. So that's just a nice wobble kind of offset screwdriver there. You gotta get the Volt Claw. If you don't have one, you gotta try it. The Volt Claw is so underrated. And then, yeah, there's my other insulated multi because it's just sitting here. But something else goes in here regularly. I don't think I'll probably be carrying this. This is probably going to go more in my meter troubleshooting bag for residential. But yeah, then all that sits in this climb pouch, or in this DeWalt pouch, like nicely. Tape measure goes down there. That disappears in there, and then what's cool, the back side of this Vito here grabs the DeWalt pouch like this, all the way. And then it's in there. And then because it grabs it, it creates 2 free screwdriver slots. One here, one there. Then I got my multi-strippers, auto strippers. They go there. And then it's already heavy, so you got your handles here, which is underrated. If you can get handles on a pouch, get them. And then you get your support pouch here for running conduit. So that's what I've been rocking. And then I recently picked up this multimeter, which is probably one of the best buys for the value and the features. This is a field piece. So let's see here. What did Jonathan say? Electricians, I already read that. Residential right now, nice, nice. You get your wiremans, man. Don't. You get the small wins, dude. Get the small wins. Always keep your options open. You have a license. You get a chance to get your wiremans. Don't not get it because you're just gonna get your journeymans. I didn't get my wiremans, and I stayed with the same company for 10 years, so it didn't really matter. But what I've learned over time is that you're kind of supposed to jump around, man. Some people got loyalty. I got a lot of loyalty to people. So if you teach me and you spent your money on me and I'm learning, pretty content. I was in a good company to learn. We ran a lot of conduit, and we were known for our conduit running. So I was probably in one of the best places that I could have been. There was no point in going anywhere. But if you get your chance to get your wiremans, don't think that because you're going for journeymans you don't need to get it, because that puts you one more block ahead of the next guy that's at the same level as you. Basically, either you're an apprentice or you're a journeyman, or you could be a wireman. So always try to get those wins in between to separate yourself from everyone else on the job site. Whether you're separating yourself with your tools, whether you're separating yourself by asking questions about the code and asking important questions, or even just showing up on time will separate yourself from a lot of people. But you always want to be separating yourself. Because in general, if you truly care about the trade, for every one person that cares about the trade, there's 10 guys there that are just stuck that don't. You're in welding school. That's good though. Welding school is good. Just who does that more, electricians or welders? Man, I don't know. Welding is that's a pretty intense job. Is my meter hanging by the leads? Yeah, I guess it was. I don't know. I guess it was on the shelf or something. It's just sitting there the whole time. It's no good. No good. That's one of the reasons why I always put this in continuity as soon as I turn it on. See if it beeps. And if we hear the beep, see here. That one? Yeah. If we hear the beep, we know the leads are good at least, and then we can start checking voltage, on something we know is energized to verify we got the right voltage, and then we can go check on something we think is dead to verify that the voltage is off. You always want to check on a known live source first, and then check on the thing you think is off. So, in that order. But I always check my leads first. Always. I saw somebody today with a knockoff vessel, and it was doing pretty good, actually. Care about trades. Gotta bathe your dog right now because it's time to get it. Get it. HVAC means you're an electrician, plumber, welder, and mechanic. It really does. It really does. You might not be good at all of those things, but you've got your hands on just about all of it to where you can figure it out enough to either do it really wrong and know enough to be dangerous, or, take your time and ask the right questions and do a decent job. Those are those new vessels, 3 for 13 on Temu, maybe. It was red and black. It was dark red and black, and they look kind of cool. Study and work, yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, man, we got a good community here. We got good everything, man. We appreciate you guys. All right, so to wrap it up here, basically, if you're gonna do this, you decide that you just want the freaking mental abuse, you want to be an electrician, someone's gonna have to teach you, because you can't just look at a book and know it. So you got to deal with a bunch of BS. You pretty much got to be like a sponge and willing to learn. You're gonna have to do what you're told, and you need to accept that you're gonna be doing stuff you don't want to do. That pretty much goes with any trade. Do you need any clear certification before you take a journeyman's test? It depends on what state you're in. In Texas, you need 8,000 hours, a master to sign off, and yeah, a letter from the master, 8,000 documented hours, and I think so many hours of school, like just like a 4-hour course or something. So depending on what state you're in, might vary. So 7 years of knowledge, yeah. Yeah, so you gotta I'd recommend everyone do this. Just put identity down there, put your name down below, and then say, what is your 5 core values? For me, integrity would be number 1. If you can't be trusted, what are you worth? That could be looked at a bunch of different ways. You've got always willing to learn, so humble would be another thing. Easily humbled, willing to learn, looking at both sides of the story. And then I do my own research. I don't believe everything anyone tells me. Doing that will get you to be an installer instead of an electrician. If you want to just do everything and believe everything that somebody tells you to do, you're never going to become an electrician. You're just going to be an installer, and you're not going to know why you're doing it. You're not going to know the reference on whether what you're being told is right or wrong. You're just going to be doing it, and then one day you're going to say, well, I've been doing it this way. You know how many times I hear this as an inspector from grown men that are like, this is the way I've been doing it for 20 years. And you don't even know how to answer the question. You're just like, you want to just be like, okay, cool. So you've been doing it wrong for 20 years, but you want to be respectful. And you're like, well, let me show you what the code book says. It's just like, dang, how are you even supposed to answer that question? I'll leave it live on my channel. I won't make this one members only. I'll leave it open. And it's hard if I don't make a video and dedicate it and edit it and all that, man, it's hard to stay on track because I'm trying to answer the chat and talk to all these guys. I've known some of these guys for 3 years here on the chat. So um shout out, man, to all the members, all the subs, all you guys, man, being here. And we've literally been doing this every Tuesday and Thursday for like 3 years. That's crazy. Some days wish I had taken the electrician apprenticeship I was offered when I was younger, but turned it down for college. And now I sit at a desk all day telling people how to do their job better. That's cool though, man. Just put your own flair on it. Telling people how to do their job better is basically what I do. uh, just depends on what it is. I gotta be honest. I like trying to help people. The other day I was helping somebody. We were beating what you call a nipple of pipe, which is less than 24 inches. So this poor guy, I get to the job site and I'm there to release the power. It's at a house. And these guys properly installed, and I talk about this a lot, right? And I always say, you got to have an equipment ground and you got to have a grounding electrode in that pipe, because typically your cold water is coming from the garage, from the water heater, something like that. That's your cold water. And it was in the existing panel. And we need to get that cold water out to the main disconnect outside. So we're going to also run a pipe through what you call the feeder. You have a service and a feeder. Service is anything without a fuse. And then once you're fused, now you are a feeder and you're going to be feeding a panel. So if we look at this, and we got two different code sections that we can dang, dude, fidgeted with my Sharpie one too many times and lost it, actually. Hang on. Should I really? This looks questionable. That's a scribble. I don't think I should be using that. That looks like a Sharpie. Yeah, if it don't say Expo on it, man, I'm afraid to use it. Okay, cool. So this would be the house. This is the wall. This is the roof of the house. This is the garage. This is outside. And this is where the meter's going to go and all that stuff, right? So the pipe that goes in between the wall here, that's what you call the nipple there. And someone put a lock ring on this side of the box and this side of the box, which is good. And they put a lock ring here. They mounted their panel inside, and they put a lock ring on both sides. So we had 4 lock rings on this one pipe, which is fantastic, okay? When you run from your water heater, right, and you run your cold water, a lot of times that cold water runs up through the wall, comes into this panel, because this used to be the first panel in the house, and there was no main disconnect. This is now a disconnect. We need to get our service grounds, which would be our grounding electrodes, through this same pipe out to the first means of disconnect. But that's not our equipment ground. So inside of our pipe, we've got grounds and neutrals. Inside of our panel, we've got grounds and neutrals in the panel. And in a sub panel, your grounds and neutrals do not touch, as we know. So in our panel here, if this is the nipple that goes out of the wall, and we got our grounds here, and we got our neutrals here, we want them to be isolated. We're going to run an equipment ground. This is our EGC. This is going to go out to the disconnect. That's the EGC. And then we have our service ground that we talked about from the water heater that also went in the wall. That's going to be continuous through the panel and not touching the panel at all. So it's really common to have two ground wires in the same pipe. And a lot of people say we don't need a ground wire because the pipe is considered the ground. That's only if they used 4 lock rings. They don't always use 4 lock rings. In this case, man, this poor guy, he had 4 lock rings. And he had cut around inside of the panel so he could beat the pipe through the wall to pull it out. And dude, it was so stuck because it was just sandwiched in there with the lock rings. Ultimately, we just beat it back towards the meter and we sealed it up. But the panel on the inside, man, it was so torn up because he had been fighting this pipe for so long. I had him just put a freaking 4-square cover over it, put a couple of screws, and we foamed the pipe because that was the old pipe that went back to the meter. But, man, you just never know what you're going to find. But, yeah, I was helping that guy try to knock out that pipe with a 2x4 and a hammer. And I was getting his diagonal cutters, and I was prying on the metal, trying to bend it away. And, oh, man, it was a nightmare. Then I went out there and I showed him how to drive a ground rod with water. So in less than 5 minutes, I had helped him sink his ground rod. Good luck finding an inspector that's going to help you do all this, you know. But I definitely enjoy helping people out in the field. So if you're in the office and you're helping people do their job better, man, there's reward to that. So that's pretty cool. $29 likes. Yeah, I guess so. If you're trying to listen and read the chat at the same time, I try not to do that. Let's see here. This is good info. Appreciate it, Chris. Do you know a good app or book to develop to determine the pricing for work done? Not that's going to tell you what something should cost, but there's a program that we used to use called Service Titan, and you can input everything into it, and then it acts like a catalog, tracks all your sales and all that stuff, but it's expensive. But I don't know a specific book that's just going to tell you what things should cost. In general, you know, it just depends on your overhead, basically, on what you should be charging. But I think the company that I worked for was easily $280 an hour. I think it was $280 an hour. So when someone calls you over to fix a receptacle, the receptacle is $108 to replace. But you got to make that $280 an hour. And if they say, how is it $108 for a receptacle? You got to remind them that the ad that they clicked on Google costs them $25 for you to click on it. You got all 4 tires on the vehicle. You got the vehicle wrap. You got the insurance. You got all your tools on your hip. You're ready to install it. The van is fully stocked for whatever else this fool decides that he might want. You've got the overhead of people at the shop on standby to deliver whatever you need to get it done today. You're going to be able to do it today. You're the best person for the job. You've been trained. you're background checked, you're licensed, you're going to pull a permit if you need to. There's so many things that you can do to explain why a plug is $188. And after I've listed all that stuff, I don't even think $108 is even enough to show up if you've got that much overhead. I mean, realistically, that's sometimes why you don't get called back from electricians when you want something small done, because they know they need more work once they get there to do, and some people don't like to sell. Smaller mom and pop shops don't have the training to know how to sell, to explain. You might get somebody that says, well, you need a new panel. Well, why do I need a new panel? Well, it's old and it's federal, and it could cause a fire. Well, now you're just a piece of crap telling somebody you're going to cause a fire in their house, You can go that route. I've worked with people that do go that route, but basically, what's it going to take to replace the panel? Explain this is the stats on the panel, and then you got to explain what it's going to take to replace the panel. Okay, before we even shut off your circuits, we're going to label everything to make sure that all the wires are what they should be. Then you got to divide all the wires out. You've got to break loose the can from the wall. You got to disconnect all the power. You got to call the utility company. You got to go through all the steps on what it's going to take. You can't just say, we're going to throw you in a new panel for $6,000. And they're not even going to get to use it, man. It's one of those things that just sits in your garage that just costs you $6,000 minimum. And I don't think $6,000 is enough, honestly, nowadays, depending on what you're doing. What happened to MH3070X? I don't know. When someone with 4 kids and no money with electricity calls me, what can you do? Man, that's completely up to you. You can get a customer for life, and you can get referrals for life, and you can get that electricity going and work with them and try to get some payment plans. You can get a vibe going. That's, what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? Get your money. If you're COD, man, you're going to get that cash on delivery. A lot of companies are working on a cloud system where they're going to sign off on the work before you perform the work. And you could do a analog system on paper that, is almost a contract that they are going to pay you, whether it's a payment plan, whatever it is. It's not weird nowadays for you to try to secure your money in a world where everyone's trying to cheat everybody. Hope y'all are showing love in this live. Definitely a lot others that won't explain much. Show love and run up the likes. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Hit the like button, guys. Let's see here. I don't know who MH370X is. Read that. Appreciate it. Let's see. Tools and Tactics. My friend mistakenly hooked up his dryer to a 50 amp breaker. Would have caused a problem, or only if the dryer itself malfunctioned? No, it'll be fine. So basically it's the same voltage. It's just more amperage. The worst thing you can do for overamping your dryer is that there's a couple of reasons why you don't want to hook up a 50 amp plug to your dryer. And I'm not sure what order of how it went down, but basically if you had 30 amp wire in the wall and you had a 30 amp receptacle and you put a 50 amp breaker in there, well, then that circuit is able to pull up to 50 amps. The way that the NEMAs are designed is that certain appliances have certain cord caps because they know that's what the appliance is going to pull. And it's not going to pull any more than that. They're not going to put a cord of a 50 amp that you can plug in on an appliance they're not going to put a cord that's only rated at 30 amps on that appliance factory if that appliance can pull more than that amperage. So for example, if this is a 30 amp rigid drill, it's going to come with a 30 amp plug only. Manufacturer's not going to allow this drill, the motor itself, unless it malfunctions, is not going to be able to pull more than 30 amps. So generally you're safe. If you get a situation where the motor locks, you got lock rotor, yeah, that breaker's not going to trip and you're going to cause damage to your wire. But is it instantly going to explode? No. Same case if you have the cord. You hook up a 30 amp cord to a 50 amp breaker. You'd need to have some kind of malfunction for that to go bad. A lot of people don't realize, but knob and tube wire is actually one of the safest things in a house. It's just the hazards that go along with it because it's not insulated. But Romex itself, this wire here, because it's so close to each other, even though it's rated for high temperature here, you can see it's surrounded in paper. The wires are practically touching each other in this sheathing here. When there's a fault and the wire gets hot, the insulation melts off. And because the wires are so close to each other, it's going to short together and cause a problem. Knob and tube doesn't run close to each other. You've got uninsulated wire, so your weakest link is already off of that thing. So when you're thinking about amperage and overloading, you're really thinking about your insulation on your wire being compromised to be able to short into other wires and then possibly that breaker not tripping. That's what we're worried about. So if you're putting larger breakers or larger whatever, you would really need to have a fault for there to be a problem, which is why Federal Pacific panels are actually safer than Zinsco's. Federals don't trip. The breaker just doesn't trip. So you have to have a problem in your house. Rat has to chew a wire. These are all very possible, by the way, so Federals are still bad, very bad. But you have to have something physically wrong with your house for you to have a bad day with a Federal panel. The Zinsco's just decide one day they're tired of being breakers, and the aluminum on the aluminum busing starts moving, and they just, they get hot quick. So if you ask me, it's all about when it fails, is it still safe? Basically, you're pretty much designing a system so that when it fails, it's still safe, because eventually all electrical fails. The question is it as safe as it could be when it failed? That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to mitigate how bad the failure is going to be, because the stuff is going to fail eventually. It's never not going to last forever. Look at my name. It's very badass history fact. Nice. It's tough to chase the money when working with low or no income. See help in the township and work with the town. The town will pay. That's always a good idea, George. Going to subscribe. Appreciate it, Austin. Please give you a shout out. What's up, Austin? Austin Botello. What's going on? Big chickens, hiding messages. I appreciate it, Juan. Chris Williams, hope you're showing. Okay, we caught up. Nice. First house had BX with cloth insulation. Nice. Yeah, you actually needed a Red Devils or Red Eyes or whatever you want to call them. The anti-short bushings in the MC. As you do HCF, so this is HCF, so this is like AC cable. AC cable requires the anti-short bushings. MC does not. What's up, Tanner? We're talking about all kinds of stuff, man. Mostly we're talking about your mindset, and we'll sum it up here. This is what we're talking about. your subconscious versus your identity. If you figure out who you are as a person, all your subconscious, every time that you are doing something you know you shouldn't be doing, you've kind of got a playbook to get you back on track, right? So if you want to play video games or something, that voice in the back of your head that says, I probably shouldn't be playing video games, um, you refer to your identity because willpower is only going to go so far. So that's pretty much the basics of it. If you're gonna try and be an apprentice, man, willpower ain't gonna get you there. You gotta decide who you wanna be. What are your goals? What are you willing to sacrifice to get those goals? What are you willing to put up with? Have those boundaries preset because you need to pick your battles. And then ultimately stay on track with all that stuff. If you're confrontational because you feel a sense of entitlement, and you should because you're a grown person, but you're having to do something you don't want to do, you need to have a conversation with yourself before the questions all arise, because it's gonna come up, man. You're gonna be sweeping, you're gonna be doing stuff you don't want to do. I work in the greater Philly area and run a relatively large amount of knob and tube. Run into, hopefully. Yes, run into. Perfect. It's almost better than any upgrades around it. Yeah. I don't doubt it, man. Oh, there's no insulation for it to fail. It's just bare wire. I mean, all your medium voltage from the substations are bare wire. Um, you can't possibly insulate that much voltage, Then it can't even try. So, not for all the length of run they run. So, um, yeah, makes sense. Second house was built in 1972, all aluminum wiring. Every few months, you would hear a pop and then have to see which outlet popped its wire off. You're not supposed to do this, but if you get some Noah locks and some wire nuts and make pigtails, it's a fix. But they don't have that in the code book. Now you got to buy their special. Dude, these wire nuts are like $20 each or something crazy. They're the purple ones. But truth be told, if you get the Koalar receptacles, which have little spikes on the backside and they're designed for aluminum. I've inspected a lot of houses yearly because we used to have this protection plan. I've inspected these houses yearly, and over the course of 3 or 4 years with the same company, checking up on the same house routinely, those Koalar plugs hold, and they're rated for aluminum. They are more expensive, but they do work. The Koalar CO, and then AL. So you got copper, and then you got AL for aluminum, and then you got R for revision because it took them a couple of tries to get it right. So the R is revision, and the CO LAR is the copper aluminum. Just go to the 30's house in Austin. All knob and tube, and of course someone came along at some point, extended the circuits of Romex, tapped straight to the knob and tube. Ah, that's terrible. That's man, just jumped off of it, huh? Right here looks good. They used to do that with solar, man. We had to make them. There didn't used to be a code for Romex to identify it. If it was AC in the attic for your solar strings, because you have what you call a source circuit. So off of your solar panels, you've got circuits that have already been combined to or not combined. They've already been converted to AC power, so it's the rest of your house. So it's DC on the roof, and then it's AC in your attic, which has less rules. And they used to not have us identify those because it was just Romex, and it was just another circuit. But what they quickly found out was the handyman would get in the attic and jump around onto these random Romex wires that are just riddled through, and just a nightmare. So now we got to put PV labels on everything. Yeah, code says you got to be approved for both aluminum and copper. Some of that in your house, no BS. There you go. It's probably safer, man. Just don't go up there and touch it. Don't lick it. Hey, we gotta get off here, guys. Appreciate it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a burner phone. We're gonna get a phone, and we're gonna put a phone number up here for you guys to call in. And I highly recommend you guys star 67. I don't want to know your number. Um, you can remain anonymous, whatever you guys want to do. I don't care. You can say, hey, whatever. Talk to us about electrical. Talk to us about what you guys did. Anything that happened. What you guys did the job site. What did you write on the porter shooter wall today instead of working? Was it they make $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time. One of those rhymes. They use their paint to cover my pen, but the shithouse poet strikes again. Try that one. Write that on the porta walls and let us know. Yeah, hip hop anonymous. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get the burner phone, man, and we're gonna give you guys a phone number. You guys call in and we'll get it going. But we'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.